Discourse markers to oppose or change the subject. Let's start with anyway. You're late. Anyway, at least you're here. So this utterance is said by the same person. Perhaps it's like a manager or a boss, and he's telling the employee, "You're late." But then he realizes that this is the only employee who arrived. So then he changes his tune. He says, "Anyway, at least you're here." So he's making a change using this discourse marker. He's making a change from a negative statement, not in negative as no, but negative as in bad, into a good statement, a positively good statement. And anyhow also works like anyway. What is the difference between anyway and anyhow? Let's see if we can replace anyway with anyhow. Yes, it works. Anyway and anyhow are the same thing. Anyhow, at least you're here. Anyway, at least you're here. It's the same thing. Let's do with two separate speakers. She is not strong in math. That's what the first speaker says. The second speaker contradicts the first speaker by saying, "Yeah, well, she can cook. Anyhow." All right, now there's another discourse marker here. Well. Well is also a contrarian discourse marker. For example, Harry Potter is the best movie. Well, I think Spider-Man is more exciting. All right? So well is also a discourse marker, but we're double downing on this well with the anyhow. Let's just use anyway or anyhow. Anyway, she can cook. Yeah, anyway, she can cook. All right, there's the contrarian discourse marker. All right, so the point of her cooking shows that it is stronger than the negative of her not being good in math. We're opposing the first statement by showing a second statement which is even stronger. We're changing the subject. By the way, incidentally. All right, now, by the way, incidentally is different than anyway, anyhow. There is connection. So let me show you how this works. The game was lost. Now someone else says, "Incidentally, did you hear that the club is super depressed, super sad? The game was lost. Incidentally, did you hear that the club is super sad?" Yes, the club being super sad is related to the game being lost. So I am changing the subject to complement the first statement. The fact that the club is super sad is a complement to the statement that the game was lost. The game being lost caused the club to be super sad. And also, by the way, the game was lost. By the way, did you hear that the club is super sad? Incidentally, by the way, they are interchangeable. And finally, as I was saying is a discourse marker to show that when somebody interrupts you, you don't want to be interrupted. You don't want the subject to be changed. You want to go back to the original subject. Let me show you how to use that. All right, so we're going to separate this into two speakers. The first speaker says the game was lost. The second speaker attempts to change the subject using by the way. By the way, did you hear that the club is super sad? Now, the first speaker is angry that the second speaker tried to change the subject. They're not happy with that, so they're going to use the discourse marker. As I was saying, our team's defense, our team defense was weak, blah, 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 blah. So the first speaker mentioned that the game was lost. The second speaker, the other speaker, tried to divert that statement into the subject of the club being sad. But then the first speaker did not want that statement to be diverted to the club. He wanted that statement to be about the team's mechanics, the team's playing style. So he uses this, as I was saying, our team defense was weak. Stop concentrating on the effects of the club being super sad. Forget about that. Let's focus on the cause of our team being weak. That is what I want to talk about, and that is why I am using the discourse marker, as I was saying. Well, I hope now that you understand these discourse markers, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and thumbs up. Bye.